Welcome. You are on the channel AI Astrologer. And today we begin an incredible journey into the world of horoscopes, created not by humans, but by artificial intelligence. But don't rush to conclusions. This is not just the magic of technology. This is a new level of precision, depth, and individuality. Astrology is a language of symbols, rhythms, and interactions. Humanity has been searching for answers in the stars for thousands of years. But often, horoscopes are very general, because they are written manually or copied from templates. But what if we could combine the wisdom of centuries with millions of real-life examples from people all over the world, while avoiding human error? This is where artificial intelligence comes into play. AI Astrologer is a system that analyzes astrological data, planetary positions, signs, houses, psychological patterns, millions of horoscopes, behavioral profiles, trends, open information from forums, social networks, and research. Imagine an astrologer who never forgets, has access to the entire knowledge base of the internet, and can instantly compare your profile with millions of others. That is what AI Astrologer is. A regular astrologer relies on experience from a few hundred or thousand clients. Artificial intelligence analyzes hundreds of millions. Statistical modeling is the foundation of forecasting in medicine, economics, and even weather prediction programs. If a certain planetary position is accompanied by similar life tendencies in 82% of cases, artificial intelligence will detect this and include it in the forecast. It doesn't just recognize patterns, it continuously learns from new data. It's similar to recommendation algorithms in Spotify or Netflix. The more data, the more accurately the system knows what will fit you best. Only in our case. It's not movies or songs, but life situations, emotional cycles, conflicts, and breakthroughs. This works thanks to a fundamental principle of statistics, the law of large numbers. Imagine tossing a coin once, it lands heads. You can't conclude that it will always land heads. But if you toss it 1,000 times, you'll see that heads and tails come out almost equally. The same applies to astrology. The more examples we analyze, the more precisely we can see general patterns that repeat for most people. Artificial intelligence uses these patterns to suggest, here are the typical scenarios that emerge under similar conditions. But how to act? That's your decision. When we talk about statistical correlations, we mean that certain factors tend to appear together. For example, if a large number of people with a certain date of birth experienced career challenges at a young age, that doesn't mean everyone with the same planetary position will face difficulties, but it increases the probability. And the more such correlations we observe, the clearer the overall picture becomes. Now let's look at astrology from a historical perspective. In ancient cultures, from Babylon to India, astrology was not a pastime but an essential part of decision-making. It was used to determine the timing of planting crops, waging wars, or arranging marriages. People looked at the sky and noticed. Certain events follow a rhythm that could be linked to the positions of the stars. In our time, science and technology have replaced many old approaches, but the desire to find order in chaos has remained. And now, thanks to artificial intelligence, we have gained a new tool that can combine the symbolic vision of astrology with the analytical power of the modern world. Another important aspect is the philosophy of choice. Even if a horoscope shows a tendency toward conflict or loss, that's not a reason to avoid action. On the contrary, it's a reminder to be cautious and prepared. Artificial intelligence will not tell you, this will definitely happen. It will say, this is likely to happen, if nothing changes. Artificial intelligence doesn't just analyze planetary positions. It studies how these factors manifest in real life. It considers time, geolocation, historical context, even cultural behaviors. This is a multi-layered analysis that a human astrologer simply cannot perform alone. Yes, astrology is not an exact science in the traditional sense, but that is precisely what makes it an ideal field for artificial intelligence. Where there are vast amounts of data and complex interconnections, artificial intelligence provides the deepest answers. What do you think about this? Write in the comments. We're truly interested to hear your opinion. And also, share what topics you'd like AI Astrologer to cover in future videos. Perhaps an analysis of personality based on a name. Predictions for a specific time period? Or maybe something entirely different? Tell us which one interests you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new releases. There's a lot of exciting content ahead. Finally, remember, an astrological forecast is not a verdict or a prediction carved in stone. It's a statistical reflection of tendencies identified through thousands and millions of profiles. As with any forecast, some people will fall within the main group, while others will be unique exceptions. And perhaps you are that very exception, who require special attention and their own path. And remember, whether to trust the forecast or not, and what conclusions to draw from it, is only your choice. The world is changing. Technology is becoming our partner. And if we trust it with our lives, business, and medicine, why not also trust it with astrology?